Hello, I am Veronica. This is my husband Matt playing the pipes on the steps of our 1889 vacant home in a small town in Nova Scotia. Please join us as we continue our massive renovation. We start here with this massive hot water heater that we bought off of Facebook Marketplace. It was much bigger than we thought and also much heavier. My Aunt Joan and Uncle Alan stopped in this one afternoon. We were there, and Alan helped Matt get it out of the van and into the house. They were trying to figure out how to get it down the stairs, but the stairs are cumbersome at best. This hot water heater was so heavy. In the end, we decided to leave it where it was and wait for the plumbers to come so they could help us get it down the stairs, basically. Moving on. This is the plaster behind the chimney. Reason number 7,000 why we needed to take the plaster down. There were so many spots of mold. This is also behind the chimney. This was like purposefully stuck in this wall. I was like, what is this? It's a can of some kind. And because it was rusted and corroded, I could see right into it. And it was, in fact, a can of peas that was purposefully put in the wall. Meanwhile, Matt is in the kitchen. Working on building this bulkhead to cover the plumbing pipes for the upstairs bathroom. And this will eventually be what our cupboards are attached to, of course. But he was working on that very diligently. And it's funny because the house is not level, even though the bulkhead is. Again, this is the peas. It took me a while to figure out what they were, to be honest. And I tipped some of them out. But yes, indeed, can of peas. And they were found right in this corner, about halfway up the wall there. Very funny. Back in Halifax, Matt is working on the van as per. The plumbers moved the hot water heater, which was great. The leaves on the oak tree, it looked like an ombre hairdo on the tree, which I thought was very cute. Back here, we are trying to clear out the rest of the concrete. We realized that Matt really needed to rent that tool again to get the rest of the concrete off of there that we needed to get off of there. So we did, but it's such a relief to have it finally done. I'm in the front room here trying to remove the trim. Unfortunately, the baseboards were in before the hardwood went down. I think the hardwood was a later addition maybe, which means that we need to take an oscillating saw and cut the baseboards off. Otherwise, we'd have to remove the hardwood floors, which we're not doing. So I needed to cut the baseboards like level with the floor in order to remove the baseboards and yes, we need to remove the baseboards in order to drywall because there's plaster and lath behind the baseboards. This took a ridiculous amount of time, but it was necessary. And I also really wanted to save these baseboards because, you know, it's like 100 and whatever year old wood. In the kitchen, Matt is trying to get up these last bits of plywood and stuff because we're going to keep these floorboards as our kitchen floor. Just needed to check out the state of them. We sat down to have a tuna melt and some iced tea and watch a show in the kitchen this one night, which was lovely. The next morning, it was raining. I saw this piece of vinyl that was still stuck to the kitchen floor there, but the rain, oh my God, what a day. We need gutters on the house. We know that. We know that's an issue, but we were seeing how all the water was pooling right in this corner, and this back entry is in such terrible shape, and now we understand why. It is just like a bathtub of water. This is on the other side of the house, and all this concrete around the house is such an issue because the water just sits right on top of it. And then this is a different corner. Look what terrible shape these shingles are in.
Let's see what's going on up there. No grabbing.
There's another one right here.
All right, well,
I'm going to go get a couple buckets.
Yep. I want to pull this panel down.
Holy. Whew. Jesus. So they shingled over a rotten thing.
Yeah, and whatever they did, I mean, it's possible that where this flashes is a failure, but without getting up on top, it's hard to know. Maybe the same under there.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go get buckets. And to say this was disconcerting would be an understatement. At this point, it's just a mad dash to triage what is happening. Figure out where the water is coming in, why it's making such a mess of things. How do we fix this temporarily? Of course, any solutions out there to stop water from coming in, the things need to be dry first. I spent hours this morning trying to figure out what to do and how to fix it. It felt like it was coming in from 80 different spots, and it was just this feeling of like dread and panic and what do we do now? Back upstairs, you see those dark shiny spots? That was the water coming in. It's hard to tell exactly where it's coming in from. I had gone and bought buckets. It's hard to tell exactly where it's coming in from without taking this whole thing apart and making it worse. So it was just a matter of catching the water before it could drip down to the lower floor where those basement stairs are. That was the most important thing for me, because all that new wiring is new and we do not need it to be ruined by water before it's even turned on officially. So I was just trying to figure, it takes so long to figure out where each drip is coming from, where to put the buckets. Then upstairs, I thought I would check and oh, look, there's a spot on the floor. I was like, oh my God, it's in this section too. Because that back entryway is like on the opposite side of the house from these parts of the attic. This is dark spots under each of the dormer windows up there. So I knew that those were both issues. So here's me trying to figure out, where it's dripping. And then here's me seeing like, oh, on the side is also wet. I'm still not sure what to do with that. That's where the bucket there, see the shiny black spots? This is where I had just been standing and looking at. Each side of each dormer window is like this, just fully damp. And then I was also here figuring out that there's spots. I had paint trays underneath the windows trying to catch it, but here's me realizing that over on the other, here's me having a little breakdown because I realized that there's another spot. I thought I would try and check the rest of the basement. It's so hard to see because there's very little light up there. But I realized that there's another spot that I needed to try and figure out what to do with. I put the towel over the bucket to see exactly where the water is dropping so I could make sure that we were catching it, because we're not there all the time. We don't live in this house. We live an hour and a half away. And so just trying to figure out what to do. Here's where it's dripping from that upper section, that upper back entry down. All those dark spots, that's all water. And this is all brand new wiring that it is falling all over. So I knew that we needed to rectify the upstairs so that it wouldn't drip down to the downstairs. Today's a tough day. I didn't expect homeownership to be easy. I didn't expect it to be without its surprises. I didn't expect it to be smooth sailing. We are not afraid of hard work. We are not afraid of doing things and rolling with the punches. But one of the only reasons we bought this house in the state it's in is because we were told there was a new roof put on in 2023. Only 2 years ago. For whatever reason, first of all, Nova Scotia's had a drought year. We've had a very, very low amount of rainfall in the province this summer and fall. And partly because of that and just luck of the draw, we've never been at the house when it's been raining. We've been there when it's been misty and, the occasional little sprinkle, but not full-on rain until today. And this new roof is leaking like a sieve. I already went and got buckets from the hardware store. I just had to go and get 3 more because I didn't get enough buckets the first time. I just, having a leaky roof would have been a bridge too far for me when we bought the house. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people that are going to be like, oh, so what? It's just a leaky roof. What did you expect buying an old house like that? This is what happens when people buy old houses and don't know what they're doing. Yes, I understand all of that. Why did we buy this house? Because we couldn't afford any other one. And my landlord is selling the building that I'm living in, and we have to find a place to live. That's the long and short of it. Quite frankly, we simply can't afford this problem right now. We are barely affording what we're doing in the renovations to the house to make it livable. This is an issue that was unexpected, the least expected issue, I would say, considering the roof is supposed to be brand new. The least expected issue. I needed to just take a minute and pause. Anyway, now I need to go back to the house and put buckets in more places and panic.
Back I go with the buckets. Now, this had old insulation in this former window, and it was all black. I could tell it was sort of moldy, and I needed to, it was definitely stopping the water a little bit, but it was like sopping it up. But it also was making it so that I couldn't see where the water was coming in to prevent it from going to the downstairs. And yes, I do understand that this window leaking is not the roof's fault, but there's lots of spots that are the roof's fault. And here we are down in the basement. It's like actual little rivers of water that are coming down, which is why these stairs are so rounded, because they're old sandstone stairs. Trying to figure out where this water is coming through is not just the roof. This is also coming through the side here because of all of the water issues that are just pooling outside the house. We have since put the wheelbarrow there to try and stop it. But in the meantime, I needed to get actual work done. So this is more stuff I found in the walls. It was like a little top. This is a glass bottle, obviously, with stuff embossed in the glass there. Another little bottle with a cork, a bigger bottle with a cork. This one had part of a label on it, but still pretty hard to read. Anyway, just trying to label all of the trim so we know exactly where it's going, although there's trim absolutely everywhere. And this was a really tough spot because there's a cast iron radiator and drywall bits, and then me. So like I have my leg up on the baseboards just trying to cut it. This was the least fun section, in my opinion. Not fun at all. But then I saw a blue jay, which felt very hopeful with this being a brutal day. And just trying to get the rest of the baseboards in this one room off. And then we decided to stop for supper. Matt, in true Matt form, wanted to make a, quote, simple dinner. This, by the way, is the chimney finally entirely gone, which was amazing. But he made this glorious bacon and cherry tomatoes. Oh yeah, this was a cable plug coming through the floor. I was like, nope, there's the wonderful, delicious pasta he made. We sat down and enjoyed it as much as we could, although we were feeling pretty dejected that day, I must say. This is the next day then. And working on baseboards, this is in the living room here, and I realized after getting all of this section done that actually the other baseboard is sitting fully in front of this one, so I have to remove that one first. This was a particularly tough couple of days, but it's not stopping us. We're moving forward, come hell or high water, literally. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next time at Piper House.